How are you?
Hi, what's up?
Long time no speak.
Very very long time, but you're always evolving, you're always growing, and I've
I'm loving
had
your new hair.
thank you. I feel like you
Yeah.
switched yours. You definitely switched yours up too, because you
I,
used to be a redhead.
I'm switching up. Yeah. I
Yeah.
had red hair years ago, like during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I've just been rocking braids for like, a couple years now. And then I was like, I'm gonna take my braids out and let my hair free. So I've had different looks in the past couple weeks.
You're killing them
Frill,
all. You're killing them
everything.
all.
Yeah, thank you.
Every look, yo. I'm
Yeah.
telling ya. She does it all. She's a guitarist. She can belt. She can belt. She's got pipe.
I'm trying.
You got pipe. No, you're not trying, you're doing. You're doing. Like, let's just clear that up. You're absolutely doing. So, absolutely, we're going to jump right into it per usual. Just so everybody knows, this episode will also be turned into a bit of a Guitar World article. So, very excited about that. Rock
Yay.
horns to that. So, if you are a guitar nerd, you're definitely going to dig into this quite easily, I would say. So what initially drew you to guitar in the first place? Because it is a first choice for a lot of people, others not so much. Was it your first instrument, and do you play any others?
Yeah, it was my first instrument. When I was like, a kid in my formative years, I heard, music that I had never heard before at that
Mhm.
time. I was like 12 years old. I heard like alternative rock metal music, Bullet for My Valentine. And after that, I was just kind of like, I love this. I love this stuff. This is my favorite band. It really got me into like heavier music and stuff. And then I was like, I want to be able to like write my own songs because I actually sung before I even picked up an instrument. I wanted to be a singer when I was a kid, but I was like, oh, maybe I should pick up an instrument so I can write my own songs and I can, perform my own songs and not have to depend on other people to do that for
Right.
me because I'm shy. So I picked it up because of those reasons. I really just always wanted to write songs, and guitar was the most accessible instrument, right? Like when you're picking up an instrument when you're a kid and stuff, like first of all, you don't have any money, so you can't afford anything like super expensive, or if you're lucky enough to have nice parents, right? Maybe,
Yeah.
but
Facts.
my parents did not have. First of all, I'm the first musician in my family, so like nobody even did music at all from my background and my family. So it was like, okay, like I want to play guitar. Hey dad, can you get me this guitar, right? Like that's more accessible than getting a drum set or like getting a huge grand piano. So it just
Right
made the
on.
most sense, and it was the coolest instrument to me as well, just based on all of like my musical tastes and stuff. Like I wanted to grab a guitar and rock out too. Like I wanted to like
Yeah.
be as cool as those heroes of mine.
Right on. And actually,
Yeah,
that I really like how you were kind of talking about the accessibility of guitar too,
yeah,
because it's a travel instrument, it's a
yeah,
little
sure.
different if you get really comfortable on, say, the grand
Hmm.
piano. It's like a drummer having their own drum set. They need it set it up a certain way, stuff like
Yeah,
that. And then if you're a grand pianist, you might need to get used to a traveling keyboard or something like that.
right.
So
Yeah,
so when you have
yeah,
a guitar, it's kind of like a second body, if you will, kind of
for
like you
sure.
can like a second set of vocal cords
Yeah,
through strings. So I feel like that, in a way, starting out on guitar made you an even better songwriter, because melodies
hmm,
might come to you quicker in that way too. I've heard that before, where,
okay, yeah,
yeah, people
possibly.
sometimes.
I do wish I learned piano first though,
Hmm.
just because I think it really does help with an understanding of guitar more. Like I still find myself, learning things that because I didn't take the academic route, I didn't have the privilege of taking lessons. I didn't have
Hmm.
like, my parents couldn't really afford to do that, and like couldn't drive me to lessons every week. So it was just like I have to figure it out, and I'm still figuring it out. I think
Yeah.
definitely maybe having like those piano lessons, like structured piano lessons, maybe would have helped, but maybe also would have like stifled, what, you know, my creativity at this point, and like all those things that I was able to collect over time to kind of, you know, be able to be like the songwriter I'm forming into today. So who knows? Who's, you know, we can't really say what was better or not, I guess.
Yeah, I would say it's never too late to
Yeah,
start, even though that's kind of
of course.
cliche.
Yeah.
You could be the you could maybe have a guitar or something. Like you never
I
know.
have like keyboards behind me. So I program synths
Yeah.
in my music. So that's kind of like my access to like keys and stuff. So I
Mhm.
do that.
Well, rock on. So you already have a pretty big head start on that then, and you're doing beautifully. Like you're absolutely doing beautifully.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what path
Mm,
you would go down, it would end up being a good trajectory, if that makes sense, because you're just
absolutely.
that versatile. So I wouldn't worry about it, yo. You got plenty of.
Yeah.
You can do any genre too. That's the thing about your voice. You could
I
easily do any genre.
appreciate that. Yeah, and I love listening to other
Yeah,
genres. You know, my
like Beyonce won country last night. I think yeah, and you were at the Grammys.
I
You were at the
was.
Grammys. Now, yeah, I don't know if that was last night, night before.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah, it's
night before.
definitely. I would like to talk about that. Let's like maybe
Yeah.
drop a bit of like Grammys lore in here for those who may not have been on CHENA's page recently. She was
Hmm.
just there, so tell me about that
Yes.
experience.
Yeah,
What other guitarists you may have run into,
for
some
sure.
networking. Tell me about all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was my second time at the Grammys, this time around, and I would say this time around was a great show. It was a great event. You know, as a rock metal kind of musician and stuff, like, you know, we don't have like the best relationship with like the Grammys because it's very like mainstream, and we don't. I feel
Mainstream,
like,
yes.
yeah, for like rock metal artists or alternative artists, you don't really get that like the spotlight at the Grammys. Like they don't even show it on like the main show that they do. But I would say, you know, it was a great event. There's like a pre-show before that main show they televise. So that's where like, you know, the jazz categories, the metal categories. That's when they get their awards. So I attended a little bit of that as well. You know, a few of my favorite bands and people I do know, they were nominated. So it was really cool to see, you know, people that like I personally know nominated like in the jazz category. It was really cool. It was really
That's
inspiring
so sick.
um, to see
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great event, you know, to meet up with the music community, to celebrate the music community, and to also just, yeah, go and be inspired. I was super inspired this time around because, you know, a lot of the times maybe like, you know, we kind of like, well, sometimes people make fun of like mainstream artists and they're like, oh, they suck. Oh, they don't deserve this. They're not that great.
Yeah.
But
Common
actually, they
trend.
are. Actually, if you go see a lot of these mainstream acts live, they are actually really, really incredible. They're freaking great. I
Yeah.
like everyone was singing live and everyone was literally perfect. I the performance, the vocals, everything. They could dance, they can act, they can sing. They are actually really, really, really talented artists.
Rock
I just do
on.
wish
Yeah.
that, you know, more artists were given the creative freedom to write their, you know, their own music, to write what's
Hmm.
authentic to them, because I think that's where, you know, that's where the disconnect happens. Like the music industry is an industry, right? It's a corporate machine.
It is.
So like they
Yeah.
have a team of songwriters that like they write these songs that they plan on making licensable and, you know, making it commercially viable. So then the kind of the soul of the true artist is lost in that.
Hmm.
But the talent is there. The talent is there, and it was really cool to see that and see what a lot of these major acts, what they're all about. And yeah, I was like blown away by so many. Dochi was
Yeah.
incredible.
Hmm.
Um, Cynthia Erivo, amazing, amazing performer and vocalist. Ray, like there was just so much talent, and
So
it was just
much in one room.
so
It's
much in
like the
one
ultimate show.
room.
Yeah.
So much in one room. It's incredible to see, and so I'm really happy and privileged that like I was able to experience that this year as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge privilege, and you absolutely deserve it. I did hear about Cynthia Erivo's
Mhm.
performance, of course,
Yeah,
and she looked gorgeous. And also, you were talking about, there is sometimes a disconnect when it comes to mainstream music, and it kind of sucks the life out of it because artists sometimes just don't have total control over what they put out there.
right.
However, I feel like hopefully that's starting to change. Hopefully, we're starting to
Yeah,
see a bit of a shift with people like Chapel Roan, for example,
yeah,
and she put her award down during the
right,
show, and she made a huge speech about how artists under these big labels, big labels that you think would be taking care of their artists,
right.
should have like healthcare and
Yeah,
just like simple stuff like this. So I feel like that
yeah.
was very,
I think
very
that's
brave of her.
brave and really courageous, and I became a fan, like seeing that to stand up there, in front of all these major like
Yeah.
industry people and to speak your truth as a new like an artist
Mm-hmm.
who just won their first award. That's really courageous because there's so many artists who have had a big platform for a long time and do not care about the working class, do not care about smaller artists. It's I don't want to name names, but we know who's who.
Absolutely. I feel like, and
Yeah,
that's the beautiful thing about art too, is that
yeah.
since it's so open to interpretation, I feel like we can, without naming names, kind of shine light on certain issues.
Hmm.
And people like Chapel Roan are doing that beautifully.
Yeah,
Sabrina Carpenter, even she's been called kind of a modern Marilyn Monroe, if you will, and she's nowhere near metal or
yeah,
anything, but she puts her creativity
yeah.
into her work. So I feel like, and you as well, I can tell that you stand strong in your truth and
Thank you.
your
Yeah,
writing, and I know you've been through a lot, you've been through it, so I feel like
yeah,
you put all of that angst into
for
your
sure.
music, so, and that's so
Yeah.
important. Any big machine, never let any big
Mhm.
machine, just
Yeah.
keep that
I
lyricism
always
real,
like in my
certainly.
music, I always I've made it a point to actually write songs about things I care about. Like I have a message
Mm-hmm.
in every song. And that's just something that I always wanted to do. I wanted music to be an avenue for me to also speak my mind. Because I'm a quiet person. I'm for the most part. So it's like it's that channel to actually express what I'm really feeling and what I really think. So my music has a message, and I'm proud of that.
Yes, during this time, we need artists like you. We definitely do. So, speaking of, our artistry, part of your artistry, going back to the guitar stuff, because I know we got a lot of guitar gear nerds in the chat. You can like often be seen with, just to name a few, a Strandberg, a Jackson, Schecter guitars.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about these top three brands, if you will, and why they are your top picks.
Yeah, I've had a relationship with Jackson for a few years now. Most of the guitars I play are Jackson guitars. I always loved Jackson. I loved like, the classic, like iconic um um notoriety of the brands, like, all the 80s guitarists used to play Jackson. I love that stuff. For a long time I used to just like indulge in that style and that era, and it just was so cool to me. The guitars are great. I play 7 string guitars, so they have like a good collection of models that I play, and they just have like a great team, just looking out, so I really love Jackson guitars. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on playing them. I do also love Strandberg guitars. I love the design. Yeah,
There's
and I
nothing
love
like
just,
them, really.
yeah,
The
I love the
I'll give
innovation.
them that.
Yeah, I love the design. I love the innovation. I do like the headless design, and I have a guitar I've been playing that has like true temperament frets. So that's really cool. And then like I also have like a couple of Schecters that I play as well. Also like the design, they have like Schecters have some guitars have a Sustainiac on them,
Yes.
which is
Yep.
so freaking
Uh-huh.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
so
pulls out the notes, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I love playing Schecters with the Sustainiacs as well. So cool. So yeah, I guess the different types of guitars I play all kind of give different things, and yeah, I'm just like I like to play different things. Like I don't know, I've always been like that. I like to play different styles and explore different styles. And I wish I could just kind of like pick one and stick to one, but my mind is all over the place in in
uh,
that sense. It's like I
yeah,
don't know.
it's
I just
okay.
love it all. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just love it all. Love the variety.
I do like how you're one of those guitarists that can play a bunch of different guitars, and that sounds weird, and I'm not trying to sound like condescending to other guitarists that just pick one, but
Mhm.
a lot of the time sometimes people just get comfortable with one specific brand or guitar
Yeah,
rather than like switching between um, others. But other people have a giant collection. Just look at
yeah.
Michelangelo video. He's got a
Oh,
whole living room full of
wow, yeah,
guitars,
I can imagine. I can
entire
imagine.
living room.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the player. But so yeah, you guys, we got Strandberg, Jackson, and Schechter. Definitely check those out if you are
Yeah,
new to
sure.
guitar. So I want to talk about, okay, because this song has been stuck in my head,
Hmm.
and I did have this as your solo single in my other notes. I
Okay.
definitely got that mixed up with your other band. But tell me about your lead guitar work. If you did like some lead guitar work on your "Prisoner of Conformity"
Yeah.
single, I know that was a big vocal moment, and
Hmm.
the music video was insane.
Oh,
I
thank you.
loved that cyberpunk energy. That
Thank
was so
you.
cool.
Thank
Oh
you.
shoot, I
Yeah.
love it. Love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, Prisoner of Conformity is my second single, or released it now like a few months ago. And yeah, I wrote the song. The song had different like iterations. So
Uh
like
huh.
the demo, I wouldn't say it sounds completely different, but it was like the demo had like a lot more going on in terms of like riffs and like all these different changes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a firm believer in like less is more. Because I think as guitarists, we tend to like want to overdo it and show off every single skill and put every single riff in a song. And then
Right.
a lot of the times it can just be like overkill. So the song was like stripped back a little bit, and then I just kind of took like the best elements of the song in terms of like the rhythm and then just like the lead work. And then it just kind of became what it is. But I would say like um, the song, like I started off writing the song with just riffs, and then the drums were reprogrammed, and then I rewrote
Nice.
the riffs to those drums, and I think it really enhanced the song, and it just all came together um, from the drum beat used in the tune.
Very cool.
Yeah,
So it's almost like you worked backwards,
yeah,
in a little bit, I suppose. So
yeah.
how did you? Hopefully, I'm wording this right. So how did you go about altering the riffs regarding the use of these like digital drums? How did you go about doing that? And was it just like a tone changes, or was it more so just completely restructuring it?
It was kind of restructuring it. Some elements of the demo were like kept in, but then just that main riff, that was actually restructured. I rewrote that after the drums were redone, and then I wrote to the drums, so it was tighter and just like more bouncy, based on the main drum beat. But yeah, no, not it wasn't really a tone thing. It was just more of, like you said, working backwards. Because I tend to start a demo by maybe like writing riffs and like just demoing out riffs, and then put a drum beat on it. But I really think like drums are like the heartbeat of the song, and drums really matter. They can really enhance a song. So I've started now, kind of like, okay, I have an idea, like I'll demo out an idea, and then I will like maybe put like a really cool drum beat to it, and then I would adjust that idea to match the drums better. So that's kind of how I'm going now. And I don't know, the songwriting process like depends on each song. Sometimes it just starts with my voice, and maybe I like record, like I hear a melody in my head, I like record it on my phone or whatever, and then I write guitar or synth or whatever around the vocal melody.
Mhm.
But yeah, sometimes it's around the drums, sometimes it's around the vocals. Like I guess it just depends on where this particular song is going. And I don't know, there are just different ways of, I guess, writing and starting out a song. But those I would say are the two main methods that I've been kind of, yeah, playing with my songwriting.
Excellent to know. I definitely so about yeah, so you it's almost like you have like the drums and the guitar like dance together a little bit because like you said the drum is the heartbeat of the song or the band as a whole.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's often why even beginner instructors or seasoned instructors are kind of like practice to a metronome as often as you can
Yeah.
because even then if you're a songwriter they say you can just get ideas easier if you have a
Hmm.
metronome playing just
Yeah,
like
that's
doing
true.
chores or whatever just because that's the rhythm even if it's a
Hmm.
simple rhythm that can really help inspire melody so something as simple as a digital drum beat can inspire a completely different melody. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about some collaborations or anything else that you might have in the works. So, are there any like collaborations or new bands that your listeners can expect from you this year alongside your solo projects?
Yeah. So the solo project's still gonna go strong. I have a couple songs gearing up for release soon. Hopefully by next month I'll have a new single out.
Yeah,
Um,
looking
and
forward to that.
yeah, yeah, this one's gonna be really cool. And then like yeah, for collaborations, there are a couple. Um, I did an album with a band I've been playing with for a couple of years now. So hopefully the album is going to come out this year with a couple of singles and videos. Catalyst Crime, that's the band. And then from Musicians Mansion, actually, the band that
Yep.
I created with a team of talented musicians at Musicians Mansion, Soulfire. An EP as well is coming out. The songs that we wrote on Musicians Mansion, those are coming out as well, and I'm excited to hear that and what it's gonna sound like. But yeah, we've
So
sent the
cool.
guitar tracks in and stuff. The drums are recorded. I think vocals are done, so it's all like now just bass and mixing left. So it should be coming out soon.
So cool. So we got a lot of different stuff in the works.
Yeah.
Can we expect something similar to Prisoner of Conformity, where I don't want to say it's like
Hmm.
symphonic metal. It's got like
Yeah.
that hard rock element. I want to say
Yeah.
even it could be comparable to Hailstorm even.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I love Lizzie Hale. She
I love she's
absolutely
my
rocks.
one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite singers.
you
Yeah.
both have that like powerful chest voice.
Oh,
You both
really?
have that powerful chest
Hey.
voice. Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. So is it going to
Incredible.
be like along those similar lines? And are you going to be the only vocalist?
So I only do vocals in my original CHENA project.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha. Okay,
yeah,
cool,
and then the rest, the other collaborations I'm working on, I play guitar in those
cool.
outfits. And maybe we'll do some background vocals. We'll see, but yeah, for the most part, uh, the vocals are in my original music, my vocals. But we'll see. I'll love to do more like vocal collaborations as well, whether in my original music or whether in like another band as well. Like I'd love to lend some vocal ability to that as well.
Hailstorm, maybe.
I
That could be a good
love
one. I would slide in her DMs really quick.
that.
Yeah, be like, hey, do you want to collab? Oh, I would love that collab. I would love that collab. I'm gonna try to manifest that. Absolutely. So I do have a few comments coming in. This one says, Chenna, congrats on being a great guitarist. Eric Johnson is a great influence. I know you really shut up that Eric Johnson too.
I
I've
really
seen
like Eric
that.
Johnson. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I got maybe 2 or 3 more questions,
Mhm.
and if anybody has any fan questions,
Mhm.
you can either drop it in the comments or
Yeah.
write in this little question mark bubble. But yeah, tell me about some of your biggest guitar influences, of course,
Mhm.
and how some of maybe their methods or techniques have helped to create your own artistic flow.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say there are a few guitarists I keep coming back to. Like I wouldn't say like, oh, this person is my favorite of all time or anything, but there have been a few that I keep coming back to. One of them is Marty Friedman.
Yes.
'Cause I think his phrasing is just so unique. It's so like unique to him, and just the way he like thinks about, how to approach soloing. It just takes like a different route, thinks outside of the box with phrasing, and I love that. I love that. It's so unique. It's cool when a guitarist figures out like a sound and a style that like, okay, when you hear them play, you don't even have to see them, but you know that's them. That's really cool. So I love that. Um, like I love Eric Johnson as well. I keep coming back to Eric Johnson because there's a lot of like techniques I learned from learning an Eric Johnson solo. Cascading pentatonic runs. I think those are so cool. I always say Eric Johnson is like one of the only guitarists that made pentatonic scales sound so cool, and I love that.
Right, yeah. He can
Yeah,
finesse those
I
pentatonic
I
scales.
love it. It's so fluid.
Yeah.
So I keep coming back to that,
Mhm.
like, for exercise. And then just like I love a lot of his tunes. Um, and then I also like a lot of like melodic metal, for example. So I love this band called Scar Symmetry, Per Nilsson, I think that's how you say his last name, but he's an amazing guitarist. I love his phrasing. I love everything he's done as well. So I also go back to that and like take some ideas from music like that, the melodic like Swedish type of
Yeah.
metal stuff. I love
Swedish metal is like some of the
Yeah,
best.
I love that stuff. So
Yeah.
I get a lot of
Mm.
influence from, I would say, melodic metal from Sweden
Mm.
as well. So
Yeah.
there's so many amazing musicians that come out of that scene. Um, but yeah, and then just, in terms of like also the lady guitarist, I love Lily Broche. She's phenomenal.
Oh
I love
God, yeah, she's so good.
Strauss. It's just super inspiring to see like, women going up there and just like completely killing it. So I love to see that as well. Um, but yeah, there's so many. But I would say, yeah, those are probably the ones that yeah, on my
Those
mind.
were those were
Yeah,
all beasts. So extremely valid. Those were all beasts. Especially Nita Strauss is an
yeah,
OG.
for
She,
sure.
yeah, the Iron Maidens, and then to get that Alice Cooper gig,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
yeah, that is like the gig of a lifetime. You
yeah,
get to basically, yeah, 80s rocker galore
yeah,
for
and I love
sure.
solo stuff. Yeah.
All righty. Well, I have two more questions. And
Mhm.
again, if anybody has any questions for CHENA, we might take two or three. Just drop it down below. Do you find studio guitar work or playing live to be more fruitful or enjoyable? This is a tough
Um,
question because I feel like
yeah,
you do both. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I would say though, I do prefer like just writing songs and like
Yeah.
bringing it to life in a studio. I really
Mhm.
love that. That was kind of like my main goal. Like when I started doing music, I wanted to, record music. I wanted to create songs. And so I really enjoy that process. I really enjoy writing songs. I really enjoy just like trying different things and using different elements to like make a song interesting and unique and experimenting. So I love that process. I playing live, I find it to be fun when I really love the music that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Um, if it's not like if I'm playing for someone else's band and it's like not really music I'm digging, I'm just like getting paid to do it, then I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this
Yeah, no real.
to
Yeah.
be over. Like,
I love the transparency though.
yeah,
Like that's kind of the life of just a live and session musician, you know? I mean, we're creators at heart, a lot of us. I don't want to say all of
yeah,
us. Some of us love playing the covers and sitting in,
right.
with bands just as a live musician, which is cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely to each their own. but I can tell that you're definitely a creator at heart. You
Mhm.
enjoy writing your own
Yeah.
riffs. And I feel like you shine anytime, but I feel like you really shine when it's your own writing and
Yeah, thank
when
you.
you're the
Yeah.
front woman. I definitely,
Appreciate
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah, because that's really what I've always wanted to do. And I'm happy that I'm doing that, now. Better late than never. But yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the process. I enjoy the creativity. I enjoy doing music videos as well.
Yeah,
Like
music videos are
just
so.
kind of making a big deal about your own music and just like from start to finish, just bringing it to life. I really, really enjoy that.
You definitely brought that recent music video
Thank
to life in the cyberpunk space. I don't know if that was the goal, but
Yeah, no, I love the
I
aesthetic, like future, like sci-fi, cyber aesthetic. Um,
yeah.
yeah, like I guess as a new artist, I'm like shaping up my
Mm.
like brand and like, my vibe and everything. And so I think it's definitely more going into that direction. Cyber, sci-fi, synthy. I love synths. Like
Oh
next
God,
to
yeah.
guitar, I'm
Yes.
synth head. Like I love dark synth music, so I bring a lot of those elements into my music. Actually, the next track I'm releasing is a dark synth track. So yeah,
I love
yeah,
that. Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, dude, there needs to be more dark synth. That's
hmm
absolutely my favorite genre right
yeah.
now, actually.
Okay, yeah,
I
I love.
love it. I love it. I love 80s synth. I love
Mhm.
dark synth. I love it all. So I definitely can't wait to hear that.
Nice.
Absolutely. I feel like you would even do great like on tour or like writing even within Temptation. I don't know if you're a fan of them.
Yeah, they're like a symphonic band, right?
Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
she can really she's got a beautiful head voice, but she can
Mm-hmm.
belt too. Really
Yeah.
heavy guitar work. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Beyond the Black even, they're little
Yeah.
melodic, symphonic,
They're
they
symphonic.
switch it
Yeah,
up.
for sure.
But yeah, absolutely, guys. This one says definitely listening to some CHENA this evening. Great
Thank
convo.
you.
Definitely check her out, you guys. I know these are just really chill conversations, but as I said, this one will be turned into a Guitar World article in addition to some other questions I'm going to send via email.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely stay tuned with that. But yeah, are there any other things that are going on in your life that you would like to shine a light on at this
Um,
moment?
it's just the music, really. It's just stay tuned for more music. It's coming
We can't
very
wait. We
soon.
can't wait.
Yes. So I'm excited to keep releasing music and keep the train moving. And just yeah, just giving the people my CHENA music. So, and I'm really happy to, and I'm really grateful, and I'm really thankful for all the people who have watched the music videos, who stream my songs, who want to hear more, who buy merch. So, thank you to everybody who is supporting. Um, Means a lot to me.
You'll get a lot more support. It's only like the start, so only
Yeah.
the beginning. And you've already done a lot. You've already done a lot. So there is a lot more to come. Oh yeah, this one says, sorry, autocorrect. I think it's impossible to talk about melodic solos without thinking Jeff
Mhm.
Beck. For me, he is the greatest. I mean, yeah,
Agree, yeah.
real.
Jeff Beck is one of those guitarists you cannot replicate Jeff Beck. He was in his own realm and own world. It's kind of impossible to cover a Jeff Beck song, which that's what I was saying about just the guitarists who have created their own unique sound, unique style of playing. He's definitely on top as one of the greatest. Rest in peace, Jeff
Yes,
Beck.
yes. Jeff, the man, the man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys definitely check out CHENA's music. It was great talking to you. You're
Thank you so much,
beautiful. You're
Kate.
talented.
You too. Thank you.
Yes, I will be in touch. Definitely
Yeah.
relax, right? You've been doing
Yeah.
so
I have a
much between the
session
Grammys and
today.
traveling. Yeah. So
Yeah.
take it easy this eve. Chill with your guitar a little bit. But yeah, you
Yeah,
guys,
I have
love
a
you.
voice session and I'm like,
Yes,
gotta go warm
you're doing so
up.
good though. So good. Sending rock horns to you all.
Thanks so much, Kate.
Cool, cool. This will be posted after if you're just tuning
Yes.
in. For some weird reason, I feel like the live streams are haunted because right when they're ending is when we get the most flood of people.
It's
Yup,
fun.
yup, yup.
Yeah.
It is fun like that, but just check it out after. Just check it out
Yeah.
after. All right, have a good one, girl.
Bye,
See you
Kate.
in a bit.
See you. Speak
Woo.
later. Bye.
Rock on.